So this has been a very hot topic of discussion lately. People have had concerns about what's going on with this specific thing. And I want people to have a really good understanding of what is going on with the ADA BTC chart right now and why this isn't really anything different than what we're experiencing throughout the space. Also, a projection from a prominent entity that took place about a year ago. I'm Luckside. Welcome to the channel. If you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So I think we need to have a discussion about this first because I actually made a video about this at the time. This is from a prominent market veteran who apparently is taunting skeptics after this prediction came true. And who this is Ben Cohen. I'm sure many of you have been around for a while and saw my video talking about this. And what his projection was last fall is that ADA was going to come down to the 400 sat level. And now he's coming around saying, oh yeah, where's all those people that were saying that this wasn't going to happen? So what we're experiencing with ADA BTC is this drop off. He actually made this projection all the way back here. I remember it like it was yesterday. And what I have to say is, no, he wasn't right. All right. Yes, we've come back down. Yes, we've come down to this 490 sat range. Still not 400, by the way. But during this time, he was ultimately very bearish on ADA. And why I'm saying he's not right is in the same breath he was calling for 400 sat ADA, he was calling for 10 cent ADA. He was basically projecting that ADA price was just going to continue to drop and drop and drop, and that it wasn't going to sit on this floor here, that we had more downside down here. Fast forward to today. Yes, we're in the 490 sat range in terms of ADA, but price is also what, 15% higher, or I'm sorry, 50% higher than it was back at that point. I think people forget the context of the discussion that was being had. Now, that's like if you're golfing and you're on the green and you hit a putt 50 feet past the hole, but the grain is enough to turn the ball around and make it come back down. That doesn't really mean that you nailed it, right? You did, ish, right? But what we're seeing in terms of ADA right now is not really much different than we're experiencing in the rest of the market. For example, we take a look at ETH BTC, has not found a bottom yet. AVAX BTC, going on a quest towards its bottom, despite doing a 10x early on in this market cycle. It's starting to continue, or it's not starting to continue. It is continuing to drop. And the reason why is two things, all right? A lot of alts in this market cycle so far have lost a lot of steam. And the reason why is we haven't had that infusion of excitement. We haven't had that outside capital hit the space. We've had too many negative things that have caused a lot of retail holders to capitulate. Pair that now with what we're experiencing in terms of BTC. Institutional money has actually been a very big part of this cycle that I think a lot of people have slept on. There's been, I think, over $20 billion worth of BTC that has been bought by institutional money in this cycle. It's something that has never happened in a cycle prior to this. There's a reason why BTC hit a new all-time high before the halving, and that has never happened before. All right. So the data is a little different. The inflows are a little different, and they're taking place in a different way. And this is why, for example, BTC dominance in this space has not necessarily topped out yet. There's going to be a point where it does. And frankly, I think we need to almost make this move towards a new all-time high in terms of BTC, like I've talked about in other videos, for really alts to get a little bit of a bug up their ass, for, excuse the language, for new capital to start entering the space. I think that's a very important thing because so many people have dealt with just uncertainty and fear of wars and recession and geopolitical events, like I mentioned. It hasn't been conducive for alts really finding their bottom versus BTC. Now, what I have to say is on this chart, if this does play out, if this does get down to 400 sats, that's great. We're playing into a descending wedge right now, meaning that this explosion out of here could be very aggressive, could be a very strong move for ADA. And in fact, when we look at how aggressive ADA's moves were later on in this cycle, this is the trajectory we're talking about. We can't sleep on the excitement. We can't sleep on the impact of outside capital entering the space. That is when ADA does its best. That is when it really makes up major ground in the market. And the time may not be too far out. Now, on this chart, guys, it is showing actually about January to be the moment where that does take place. These descending wedges, they can break out earlier, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And in fact, when we look at, let me just go back here. When we look at when we really started surging to the upside here, it was on what, January? Yeah, right about January. So right about actually that same time frame. So everything's kind of getting back on track from a time standpoint. This doesn't mean that ADA price isn't going to move. It doesn't mean that it's falling. What it means is that BTC is just moving just a little bit faster than what ADA is currently. Let's say BTC goes on a run to 80K and ADA moves to 60 cents, right? BTC, no, that would be BTC moving slower than ADA. You guys get the point, right? Anyways, that I just wanted to have a discussion about this video. I think it's important for people to understand what is coming that is not here yet. It's something that hasn't really changed. Maybe it's gotten pushed out just a little longer than it normally would have been, but this cycle is slightly different. It's all occurring just a little bit different, but in the end, the results should be the same. You're not going to slow down mass adoption. You're not going to slow down enterprise and governments that are trying to get into the space. It's all happening, and the move is going to be huge. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.